Anthem! All together!
With the Ling Dragon Order we join forces cause we care. We fight for Masato and in his name to hear him say for share. The Ling spiral chain of bonds, we does it in our fights. You better not mess with us or we'll mess you up right, yeah!
What's up YouTube and all you sexy buddy fighters? Firstly, here are the giveaway winners. Congratulations to you guys. I'll need you guys to comment down below your email address so that I can send you the details on how you can win your prize, or I will send you a personal message. And I've read every single one of your comments. It was super awesome. And do not worry if you do not win in this giveaway, because there will always be a next giveaway. And I'll continue to make Buddyfight content for you guys. Today, I will be sharing with you my Ling Dragon Order deck profile requested by quite a number of you. I know the intro was super cringe, but that's because I'm a proud member of the Ling Dragon Order. Now let's get on with the deck profile. Firstly, let me give you an introduction to D-Share. It's an ability that allows a card to share its D ability with other cards with D-Share. So if you have multiple cards with D-Share on the field, they all get shared abilities. So if you like friendship, teamwork and stuff, you might like this deck a lot. Now the Ling Dragon Order has two different deck variants. The first one is a size 1 rush build, which focuses on calling multiple size 1s with D-Share and working together to defeat your opponent. The second build is to join forces and combine all their powers into a single card of destruction, King Agito. And since King Agito has gotten brand new form in the latest expansion, True Awakening of Deities, I will be showing you this deck build instead. Alright, the flag we play Masato Edition Ancient World. Then the buddy we play Rumbling Thunder X Agito. So all Ling Dragon Order on your field gets Soul Guard, pretty good. And also the D-Share ability, it's at the start of your attack phase, you may put a card from your drop zone into this card. So if you have 3 size 1s on the field, at the start of your attack phase, all of them will get a soul from the drop zone. However, its main purpose is to be in King Agito's soul. So every start of the attack phase, you can pump souls from the drop zone into King Agito's soul, which makes him pretty much immortal. And I chose him as my buddy as his ace rare. Next up, we play 4 copies of Rumbling Spiral Thunder X Emperor Agito. Now this is your main boss monster of the deck. Now you guys know I love boss monsters, and this guy is pretty damn strong as he's an emperor. He's a 838 call cost, put up a total of 4 Ling Dragon Order monsters from your field and drop zone into his soul and pay 3 gauge. It gets Spiral D-Share, so it gets all the D-Share abilities from monsters in his soul. And it gets power plus 2000 for each of his soul. At the start of your attack phase, you may drop 3 cards from your deck and put any number of cards with D-Share into its soul. So if you drop 3 cards, it gets 3 additional souls. Now this card has an inbuilt Penetrate and Double Attack, so you do not have to worry about having cards with any Double Attack or Penetrate in your deck to support this guy. Now this card is already insane on its own. It has the power to hit almost anything. It has great abilities. Imagine having additional abilities in his soul. It will be pretty much unstoppable. Now next up, we play 4 copies of the buddies. Now if you have multiple copies of this guy in his King Agito soul, it also means that in every attack phase, start of attack phase, you get to put that number of cards from the drop zone into King Agito's soul, which is pretty insane. Definitely play 4 of him. Next up, we play 4 copies of Quick Wit Sumasaki. Now this guy is your gauge and draw of the deck, and also if it's in his it gets D-Share Defense 3000. So you have multiple copies of him in King Agito, it boosts up his defense by a lot as well. Next up, we play 4 Swift Claw Wings. So counter during your opponent's turn, you have a Ling Dragon Order on your field, you may put this card from the drop zone to the bottom of your deck and pay 1 gauge if you do gain 2 life. It helps you survive Shadow Dive or sudden Penetrate damage or some burn damage, just some life gain. Also, his D-Share ability is when he attacks and destroys your opponent monster, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So if your opponent decides to redirect your attack, imagine you have 4 of this in its soul, and you destroy your opponent monster, it still deals a demolishing 4 damage to your opponent. Or if your opponent decides to use Buddy Block, you can go for his monsters and deal those extra burn damage to your opponent. Definitely play 4 of him because the effect stacks. Next up, we play 4 Heavy Striker Kaina, which basically adds a crit for each of him in his soul. So if your King Agito have multiple copies of him, if he has 4, your King Agito basically becomes a 7 crit. And it helps with FTK. Basically, if you have 3 of him in King Agito soul, King Agito becomes a 6 crit monster, attack, impact for 4 damage, which I'll talk to you about later. We play 3 copies of Hara Hara. Now, let's look at the artwork. The artwork is so cute. There is so many food here. There is a french fries, corn, there are some fruits here. There's an onigiri. Oh my god, this is my favorite in Japan, guys. I eat it so much. There's even like cola and milk. Okay, the reason why I only play 3 copies of him because it gains so much life. Every time he attacks, it gains 2 life. So if you have 2 copies of him inside your soul, basically for a double attack, you're getting 8 life. Unless my opponent plays very heavy duty burn damage or super heavy penetrate, I might sideboard in 1 more copy just to be safe. Alright guys, next up are the one-offs I play in my deck. Now these guys are one-offs because there isn't an advantage having multiple copies of them in its soul, and also they are searchable through a spell card, which is why I only play 1 of them. Unless the matchup for me is very unfavorable and I really need them, I might just tag in 1 more copy of them just so that I do not miss it. So the first one is Robust Tom. So abilities on this card cannot be nullified. Now this is good against Dragon Bloodsack because they always nullify your abilities. You want to have at least 1 of them in your deck. Next up we play Resolute Hirate. This card cannot be returned or rest by your opponent card effect. It's very good to prevent anti-rest cards. Next is Slowly Gry Hami. This card, power and critical cannot be reduced by your opponent card effect. Same thing, the effect does not stack. And lastly, we play Spiral Thunder X King Agito. So this card is a backup size 3. You know, I wouldn't really call him, but his D-Share ability is really powerful. This card cannot be dropped. This card's souls cannot be dropped by your opponent card effect. So it can prevent all the soul removal, which is really very devastating for King Agito because one way is to remove all his soul and he's dead. And also it prevents against Dragot's Va in the Dragon Bloodsack, which is very powerful. And also, all of these cards, I tag in 1 of them in my sideboard. So if I really need, like, let's say against Dragon Bloodsack, I'll put 1 more of Robust Tom and 1 more of King Agito into my deck. Next, for Divine Dragon Creation. Now, life in this deck is not a problem with Hara Hara and it's your basic draw mechanism, so play 4 of them. Next up, we play 4 Link Dragon Orders Hunt. So this is also your draw mechanism. Pay 1 gauge, gain a life and draw a card for each D-Share on your field. So you can draw a total of 3 cards. This is your best turn 1 setup. Play 4 of him. Next up, we play 4 Sturdy Dragon Strike. Now this is the key spell of the deck. Basically, find 2 Ancient World monsters and put it into your drop zone and gain a gauge. So it helps you to gauge and helps you to set up your drop zone for King Agito. So usually if I need my one-offs of the deck, I might search it, put it into the drop zone. Or if I need my buddy in the drop zone to make my King Agito unkillable, I'll just put them into the drop zone. So definitely play 4 because you can cast multiple copies of them in a turn and you can cast them anytime, which is very good for King Agito as well. Next card we play is 4 Link Dragon Order Gathering. You can pay 1 gauge and search for a card with Agito in his name, or you can take up to 2 monsters with D-Share with different card names from your drop zone into your hand. So you play 4 of these and 4 of King Agito, so make sure that you do not miss your King Agito as it's the main monster of your deck. Next up, we'll play 3 Link Dragon Orders Renewal. So pay 1 gauge, stand a card with D-Share and call up to 1 size 1 or less monster from your drop zone onto the field at rest position. Usually I'll call Sumasaki for the additional charge and draw, and imagine your King Agito already has multiple crits inside and you attack your opponent and your opponent manages to survive and you use this card to restand and attack them, your opponent will fall to their knees. So we play 3 of them. Next we play Link Dragon Order Links. So it's a counter, you can gauge 2 and gain a life, or you can destroy a monster on your field. So this card helps with your gauge issues, or if you're fighting Godpunk and you manage to deplete your entire gauge, it's your turn, cast this card and call King Agito. So it's very, very powerful. Next up, we play 3 of the item Bond Gloves. So pay 1 life. I love that it pays life instead of gauge. It can attack even if you're a monster in the center, and any damage dealt to you other than by attacks is reduced by 1. So it prevents all the annoying burn damages, and also its D-Share ability is it cannot be destroyed by your opponent card effect. It is very good in King Agito and is very good as equipping as well for an additional 2 crits. And lastly, for the impact, we play 3 Thunder Dragon Tornado. Now this card is very powerful in a King Agito deck because when you're in King Agito, instantly this card becomes a free cost. So when your opponent is at 4 life or less, cast this card, deal 4 damage to him. So I play 3 copies of him because some of them might go into the gauge, or since King Agito is milling a lot of cards in each attack phase, it might mill him into the drop zone. And also, there is a chance for FDK in this deck, so you might want to play a little bit more of this card so that you'll be able to draw him. Another card that you can consider playing is Soaring Dragon Fair Skylines, because a lot of the times when I was playing this deck, I realized that I might accidentally drew into my important B-share monsters, and there's no way for me to put those cards into the drop zone without replacing my entire King Agito. So if you play that card, you can discard those cards and put them into the drop zone and use your buddy's Agito's effect to put those cards into your King Agito, which is a pretty good card to tag it in, but at most I might play just 1 or 2 copies of him. So there is a possibility for this deck to FDK. All you need is your King Agito is either King Agito or Link Dragon Order Gathering, which also can search for your King Agito. Next, you need Sturdy Dragon Strike, you need Heavy Striker Kaina, and you need your Impact. So it's either 3 Heavy Striker Kaina or 2 Sturdy Dragon Strike, since you can cast multiple copies of him in a turn and you can call all your Heavy Strikers into the drop zone. So first of all, you cast Sturdy Dragon Strike. What this will do is you put 2 Heavy Strikers into the drop zone. Next you call Heavy Striker, and when you call King Agito, there will be 3 of Heavy Strikers in it, so which makes him a total of 6 criticals, since he is a really high 3 criticals in the beginning. So attack your opponent for 6 crits and cast your Impact for free because you're in King Agito. So that's a total of 10 damage and you're able to FDK. You can increase your chances of FDKing by putting cards like your criticals cannot be reduced or cannot be rested so that your opponent can't stop you. So in order for King Agito to reach Immortal mode, that's what I like to call it, you need your weapon in its soul, you will need Robust Thorn in its soul, and you will need the old King Agito in its soul. So with these 3 cards in its soul, basically it cannot be destroyed by effect, it cannot be nullified, and its soul cannot be dropped. So basically it becomes immortal, and if you continue to stack in its soul, there's no way, that's close to impossible that your opponent can actually kill King Agito. With additional defense and critical, this is really a nightmare for your opponent. And once you reach that mode, you'll feel like a true king, like an emperor. Look at this. Look at this. The power of friends and buddies intertwine, and a new king shall descend upon this earth. Now guys, if you go and read, the Link Dragon Order has one of the funniest captions of all. They are super cute. Let's look at the old King Agito. I remember his caption is really funny. So you see, with friends' wishes entrusted into him, Agito becomes a king. So that's how he became a king. Alright guys, I've come to the end of my deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more Buddyfight content. And guys, it's time to Buddyfight.